MTN Sports. This is Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
Welcome into Bobcat Insider. I'm Ashley Washburn alongside Keaton Galogly. A lot of basketball to talk about tonight. 3 games in 5 days for both the men and the women. For the women, they're playing in 3 different states. You had to go do the travel. How are we feeling? Have you been able to sleep?
A little here and there.
Okay.
And for all the guys, it's a little bit different too. And it's tough, because after that game on Saturday, which was a tough physical game, it was in that early evening window, so 4 o'clock tip, it takes a while to come home. You got to cool off. Think of the adrenaline running through Raekwon Battle's body after that windmill dunk.
Oh, my gosh, right.
And it turns out to a 5 a.m. leave time on Sunday to get wheels up at 7 a.m. on Sunday. You go play that game Monday night, and then your wheels up again at 7 o'clock again on Tuesday morning. So it's a lot for these guys, and you could see it. It did come out into play a little bit.
Absolutely. And, we've talked about it these last couple shows is traveling, especially in that non-conference schedule. You're going up in the air, the elevation's different, all of that jazz. But when you're playing 2 back-to-back, gritty games, and then you've got to go back on the court less than 24 hours later. What did you see in that Idaho game? Because obviously a little bit of a slow start. Do you say it's because of how many games they've played in 5 days, or were there may be some other things involved?
Look, Sprinkle's not going to say that, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to make those excuses. I will. Yes, you could see the travel in
Yes.
it. They gave up 12 points, a 12-0 run to start that game, and we'll talk with Sprinkle about this a little bit, but we saw a lot of missed layups. We saw a lot of missed threes, and those are some of the things that sometimes are symptoms because of tired legs. And the other part about it too is Idaho was playing desperate because they hadn't won in the Big Sky yet. They're playing at home. They're obviously a better team than their 0-5 start. And they didn't play on Thursday. They had played at Eastern Washington on Sunday, but that means they're just playing basically kind of their normal routine with a normal off week. So for them, their difficult week is this week going into it with the Monday and then the Thursday and the Saturday. So you could see the difference in there a little bit. And Devontae Moffitt's one of the best scorers in the country, and he got away from the Cats a little bit, and that led to still what was a close 4-point loss, and they really did fight down to the end.
And rightfully earned Big Sky Player of the Week this week after putting up as many points as he did last night. But despite what happened last night in Moscow, it was a kind of a positive week of some of the other stuff that we saw. You mentioned Raekwon Battle. I'm surprised we didn't see any of them on, Sports Center Top 10, but it was just really impressive watching him on Saturday, but also just his team feeding off of him. He's not making some of those dunks without Darius, getting in the right spot right near the rim.
Right, and that's why Darius Brown might be the most valuable player on this team right now. Jabril Bellows, your best player. Raekwon Battle's your most skilled and athletic player. But without Darius Brown, the Bobcats are not in the position they are right now. And those types of highlight reel dunks, they're fun. They only count for 2 points,
Yeah.
but it really, you could see, change the tide. And that's the type of thing that I think is going to play so big as we get into the dog days of February. You get into that February fight of the season. It's hard, and those types of plays are big. But I think the biggest and most important part of that, it was the defense that sparked the offense. And the defense has really become one of the best parts of this team. And we're going to talk about that and more with head coach Danny Sprinkle coming up after this timeout.
Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
Welcome back to the Bobcat Insider. I'm Keaton Galogly alongside head coach Danny Sprinkle. We're talking about a 2-1, very, very busy week for Montana State. And Coach, let's go back to that Idaho State game on Thursday, which I know probably feels like a while ago. But that was kind of one of those games where we really saw this middle depth in the Big Sky this year. That Idaho State team is much, much better than they were last year.
Yeah, they got talent. They have 2 of the better post guys in the league. And, they play through their post, they play physical, and they make the game ugly. They make you beat them and give our guys credit. It was a physical game, and we made some great shots that night and came away with a victory.
Yeah, and a great defensive battle really on both sides. The defense for you guys really seems to be kind of your calling card at this point. Would you agree?
Yeah, no question. All weekend, that's what, until obviously the Idaho game, which hurt us, but that Idaho State game and Weber State game especially, we really defended well, and we got stops when we needed to, which translated into our offense.
Well, the Weber State game was a very interesting game. They're still very, very talented, a lot of great individual talent on that team. But really the biggest point of this game was the end of that first half. Raekwon Battle's dunks, that place got rocking. What an impressive performance by him.
Yeah, both nights the place had great atmospheres, and that was even without our students. Once they come back, it'll be even better. But yeah, that last 5-6 minutes of that first half, or the second half, or the first half of Weber was tremendous. And like Raekwon was the beneficiary, he's the one that got those dunks. But we had guys diving on the floor, throwing the balls up to him. If those guys aren't making those effort plays, those dunks don't even occur. And so tremendous credit, and it was a team effort.
Right, well, that was Darius Brown, who, like you said, he laid out on the ground. He was able to kick that thing out, get that thing pushed ahead, and Raekwon put that one-hand windmill dunk down.
Pretty nice. Yeah, he can jump a little bit.
Yeah, you don't see too many of those at this level.
Yep.
Moving ahead to the Idaho game here in Moscow. Now, this was a tough game. This was 3 games in 5 days.
Yeah.
I mean, going in, how were you trying to manage the energy, or where the guys were putting out their effort going into that game? Like, how do you handle 3 games in 5 days like that?
It's hard, especially with the travel. You play an emotional Idaho State game, and then Weber State game, and then you got to get up at 5 a.m. to leave Brick Breeden Fieldhouse and take 2 flights and then drive 45 minutes to get to Moscow. And I knew it was concerning, but championship teams, you got to find a way to get through that stuff, and we didn't. The first 8 minutes of that first half, it wasn't us. I even watched the film on the plane again today, and I hadn't seen that team. And a lot of it was, they were worn out. You see Jabril, where usually he's catching some of those and dunking them, and making plays off ball screens with Darius, and we just didn't have that. We didn't have that juice.
Yeah, and that led to a 12-0 run for Idaho to kind of start that game. But still, you battled back. You got back to 1 point multiple times in that game. So that fight was still there in that contest. And once again, some of those 3-point shots, if a few of those fall, it really feels like it would be a little bit different. I know that 3-point shooting has been kind of up and down this year. I mean,
it's been
what can you do with it?
Yeah, just keep shooting. We had good looks. We were 2 of 12, which it's not good enough for the guys that we have shooting the basketball. But we had 17 missed layups. At the end of the day, that's what it was. You mentioned we cut the lead to 1, I think 3 times, and we had layups to take the lead. And I really think if we could have got the lead, Idaho would have doubted themselves a little bit, and that's when we could have really tried to pull away. But, you got to give Idaho credit. They played well. They made the big shots when they had to, and, they played hard. The basketball gods will reward you, and they got rewarded because they played harder.
Finally, Cat Grizz Week this week coming up on Saturday. Give us a couple of quick thoughts on what this game against Montana is going to look like on Saturday.
Yeah, it'll be a tremendous atmosphere. It's going to be physical like it always is. It's going to be the team that makes the big shots. Like last year, same thing. We split. The game here, we made shots. The game there, they made shots. And so it's going to come down. They're a little different this year. They got 2 bigs that can play on the perimeter and are very, very good. And so, they can space you out in different ways. And we have to use that to our advantage too on the other end and make them guard inside.
All right, here we go. Cat Grizz Week coming up on Saturday. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll dive into the 3-0 week that the women had over the course of the last couple of days. For head coach Danny Sprinkle, I'm Keaton Galugli, and this is Bobcat Insider.
Get social with Bobcat fans and follow MTN Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
Back on the Bobcat Insider, I'm Keaton Galugli alongside Ashley Washburn, and we're going to turn our attention now to the women's basketball team that went 3-0 this week with wins at Idaho State, at Weber, and at home against Idaho. That is a grueling week, but it's much easier with 3 wins.
I was going to say 3 wins in 3 different states. What a way to kind of come out, and do it this week. But to be able to cap it off at home, and obviously Darian White was a really big storyline last night. 18 points, 11 rebounds, not bad for a 5'6" guard. It seems like she just kind of knows how to attract to the ball, but we've seen her being such a facilitator this year. She stepped it up when she needed to, which is what we've heard Binford say, when we need her to do something, she'll do it, and it's exactly what happened on Monday night.
Right, and it's hard. It's not like Montana State has some dominant inside presence. They've got great interior players, but it's not like Gola Bad Bear or Lexi Deaton are going to just dominate the glass. And when you do see the guards cutting in there, that's when we see the rebounding really take off. And boy, was that a big factor in the close Idaho game.
I was going to say, well, it was a factor all week. If you were kind of averaging, the 3 games between Idaho State, Idaho, and then Weber State, they were averaging over 47 rebounds. And you take a look at the Big Sky standings, your top rebounding team is only averaging about 39 right now. But then you look at what that margin was, and obviously Idaho State, Idaho were both really close games. Idaho was a rematch of the Big Sky opener, which was a 19-point, win for the Vandals. They ended up out rebounding them by 15. 15, which is just insane. And obviously Darren White had 11 of those.
Well, and a lot of times it just comes down to effort, hustle, and energy. And those are the types of things that you have to do if you want to be a quality rebounding team. And when everybody buys into that, it makes a huge difference. And when these games are coming down to 1 or 2 possessions, sometimes if you get 1 or 2 more possessions because of those 50-50 balls, that's the difference, especially as we kind of get into that February part of the schedule, which is right around the corner. I know we're kind of mid-January, but things are going to start getting into a grind for these players, for these teams. And when you have the depth, when you have the buy-in from the guard to try to rebound like that, it makes all the difference.
Well, and the other point to that is, field goal percentage is a big factor of part of every game, but that's not the only stat line. And you're seeing it pay dividends on the steals, on the rebounds, and especially that Idaho State game, 3-point margin is what decided it, but it was 10 rebounds that really is what decided the game.
Well, it's tough, and it's fun to watch, and it's fun to see how many different waves they have to be coming off that bench, because not a lot of teams have that.
No, there's a lot of depth, and Leah Beatty is obviously a big part of that depth. 28 points off the bench, kind of unheard of. If she was in any other Big Sky program, she's probably starting, and we're going to talk to Binford about that because it's the wave system, and we'll talk about the wave system coming up after this with head coach Trisha Binford, so stay with us.
Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
Welcome back to Bobcat Insider. I'm Ashley Washburn, alongside women's head basketball coach Trisha Binford. Coach, you just wrapped up 3 games in 5 days, all at different locations, but came out on top of each and every one of those. Do you feel like you just need to take a breath for a second? I think It's been a long 5 days.
We get a day off today. No, it was, it's game prep, and it's trying to get yourselves mentally and physically prepared, and just really proud of them finding ways down the stretch. Every single game I felt like came down to that fourth quarter, and our kids found ways to finish games, and that's what you have to do in a tough conference.
Well, talking about coming all the way down to the end in that fourth quarter, let's just dive into last night because it's a little bit more fresh. 7-point win over Idaho, which was a rematch of that Big Sky opener from a couple weeks ago. I'm sure you're a little bit more happy about the performance this time around. Things to clean up, the happier.
Well, yeah, first of all, what I had them prepared to do the first time around was not great. So I'm taking ownership on that first game. And obviously Idaho still shot and hit a lot of threes, but we responded. They got themselves back in the game. You're never out of the woods when you're playing Idaho, and they can really get hot at any time, and they can put points on the board very quickly. But our kids made plays. They found some stretches, hit some shots, hit some big shots down in the fourth, and able to do that in front of our crowd.
Well, there were several storylines from that game, but I think one of the biggest ones was, of course, Darren White. 18 points, 11 rebounds. She was really strong on both sides of the court, but also hit that 1,500 career milestone. You've seen her career over the last couple of years, but how much of an impact player has she been in seeing her reach that last night?
Yeah, when you look at those numbers, it's kind of a wow factor of her impact in every single facet. She's a playmaker for her teammates. She gets them involved. We can put the ball in her hands at the end of quarters to make the right play or make the play, but to put that kind of production up and rebound at 5'6", she just impacts in every facet. And then you're asked to guard 94 feet, a team that can really shoot the ball pretty much once they cross half court. And I just think she sets the tone for us. When she gets going super aggressively, our team's going to be aggressive, and I thought she set the tone for us on both ends.
Well, let's talk about another big player, Leah Beatty. She had a huge game over the weekend against Weber State. 28 points off the bench, 6 3-pointers. On any other team, she might be in that starting 5, but to have an impact player like her come off the bench, be able to keep the energy up, but also average double figures, what's it like having her?
Well, I'll tell you this. She's good enough to start. I'm going to make that very clear. This is a team that we've been trying to mix up lineups on getting out to great starts and having the right spark come off the bench. And Leah has really just come in with that transition and just been an impact right away. But she also, if she gets hot, she's hard to cool off. She can score in so many different ways. She was posting up for us. She was shooting the 3 ball. Weber State, she got hot and she didn't stop getting hot. And her teammates did a great job finding her, but she was also looking for it. And when she starts rebounding the way she's capable, she just is another kid that can impact in so many ways. So extremely proud of how she's responded in that role, and she's definitely taken that role to a great platform for us.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed about this team, it's like any given day, there's somebody different stepping up. And if we look back to Thursday now, I'm looking at, you have that starting post duo, Lexi Deaton and Cola Badber, who really stepped up and won a huge game on the road against Idaho State, handing them their first loss at Big Sky Conference play.
Our paint production and their power play, the chemistry really shined in that game. You've got a team that swarms the post very, very well. Idaho State's known to be super physical and just try to keep the ball out of the post, and we go through the post. And so we had really prepped as far as what that ball movement looks like against where the double teams could be coming from, and they just continued to find each other in every facet. Down the stretch, there were some big plays. Lexi got doubled; she had a scoop pass to Cola, but they were just continuing to find each other. And those are the games that you kind of go off of what the defense is taking away. And we do have the balance where we have the perimeter and we've got the penetrators and we have the post play. That's when we really get going, is when we get all three hitting. And I felt like those posts just really were powerful that game.
Well, and you mentioned earlier about mixing up that starting lineup, and Lexi Deaton was one of those. This is only maybe her fourth or fifth start that she had last night, but you can just see how she's starting to get really comfortable being on the floor.
We love her spirit of aggressiveness. She's such a competitor, and she is fearless. When she steps on the floor, it's just kind of like, what do I need to do for us to come away? And we love that energy about her. We love that fight about her. We've had better starts with her in that starting lineup, her and Jack, and she just is continuing to impact for us as well. Even though last night maybe wasn't her offensive night compared to some of the other games, I know she still had 11 points. Her rebounding has really picked up as well. And for us, the big key these last 3 games is we've won the glass. And so that's been a real point of emphasis. But Lexi's usually in that mix as well. When you're looking at hustle plays, loose balls, and fighting to get that possession, she's going to be that kid for you.
Well, and I'm sure it's going to be a point of emphasis heading into this Saturday. Any game against a rivalry program like Montana is gritty, and no matter what that record is. How important is rebounding going to be on Saturday, and what have you seen about that Lady Grizz program?
Yeah, they're certainly capable from everywhere. They've got tremendous penetrators. They've got a really strong bench. They've got Carmen Gfeller, who can score everywhere. They've got a really balanced team this year. I think they're spreading the floor extremely well, and once, like you said, they can rebound. And so we're going to have our hands full. This is a team that plays fast in the open court that we're going to have to contain. But really, it's going to come down to us trying to just block out distractions and really focus on our huddles and responding to next play, because there's going to be some momentum swings either way. And it's going to be a fun game for all the fans. This is just a great rivalry game that everybody gets up for.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a loud one inside Dahlberg as well. Tip-off for that is at 2 p.m., and then the men follow directly at 7 p.m. So thank you so much, as always, for your time, and good luck on Saturday. Hopefully
Thanks,
we're
Ashley.
talking about something positive next
Sounds
week.
Great. Hopefully.
Hopefully, right? Coming back up, we'll have more with King Galogli and I up next on Bobcat Insider.
Take coverage of the Cats with you. Download our app for your favorite mobile device today. Welcome back to Bobcat Insider, sponsored by First Interstate Bank.
Welcome back one final time for the Bobcat Insider. I'm Keaton Galogli alongside Ashley Washburn, and it is Cat Grizz Week. The women will be going at 2 p.m. over in Missoula. The men will be going at 7 p.m. It's going to be a fun matchup on the women's side.
It is a battle of the state, and you're going to see a battle on Saturday. We can just throw those records out the window, because really it's just going to come down to who plays better. But the Lady Grizz are coming into this 4-3 in Big Sky play, and you kind of look at that record and you're like, okay, Montana State maybe has this in the bag. But I will say they had quite the impressive win over Idaho State. Definitely a larger margin than when Montana State had last week, but they're also coming off a really huge loss, 27-point loss to Eastern Washington. Kind of one I think that surprised a lot of people, but they might be coming into this game looking for a win on Saturday.
It does kind of cut both ways. You have that lopsided loss, and all of a sudden you're locked in at practice that week.
Exactly.
On the men's side, I think this is going to be a really, really interesting matchup. The Montana men are a team that really relies on their three-point shooting, so the perimeter defense is going to be absolutely massive in this game. And the other part for Montana, they don't have a huge inside presence, so if we can see Jabril Bello and especially Great Osabor stay out of foul trouble, seeing those two guys on the floor at the same time, things can get really, really interesting on the men's side.
Well, and there's a lot of questions of what we're going to see on Saturday, but there is no question about how loud it's going to be. I've never been to Dahlberg, neither of you, but there's one thing I heard about the atmosphere. It's insane. I know I'm looking forward to it. Are you?
I am, and it's going to be fun. And it's going to be fun, too, because Montana State is such an experienced team, and I know they let one get away from them over in Moscow when it was the end of a long road trip and all of this, but they're a team that they're going to want it. They're going to be hungry. You're coming off the loss. It's going to be fun, and you know Montana State's going to stand tall, and there's a lot of guys in that locker room that get even stronger when the lights are their brightest.
There's a lot to prove for both teams on Saturday, so it's going to be a fun one. You can listen to Keane Galogly on the Bobcat Sports Radio Network at 7 p.m. for the men's game, but you can also listen in at 2 p.m. to Daniel Sally. But if you want to watch it on TV, we've got it on the Montana Television Network. That's going to be on CBS starting at 2 p.m. That's it for us this week. For Keane Galogly, I'm Ashley Washburn. We'll see you next Tuesday.